Okay, for this video, I am going to demonstrate how to complete our 3D Modeling Tinkercad Challenge number 1, which is to make this cute little penguin here. The first thing you're going to do is click on this link to open Tinkercad, and then you'll just have to log in or click student accounts, however it is that you need to log in, but log in with your Google credentials, okay? Once you're in Tinkercad, you may have a square over here in the top left that says create your first 3D design, or you might have to go up to the blue create button here and do 3D design. So either one of those, okay? And that should open your work plane for you. We're going to start out by, by the way, in the top left corner, you're going to have some really funky name up here. I'm going to have you backspace that away and type in the word penguin and then hit enter, okay? Because we always want to get in the habit of naming our files, whatever it is we're currently working on that day. All right, so our basic steps, we're going to start with the body, and we're going to grab a sphere, and we're going to make it 32 for the width, 32 for the length, 45 for the height, and then we're going to color it black. So going back to Tinkercad, go to your basic shapes on the right, grab a blue sphere and drag it onto your work plane. All these little white squares are sizing handles. Click on a corner, and you're going to get these little white pop-ups, and you can type in your dimensions. So we had 32 for the width. So over here on the side, we had 32 for the length. And then to change the height, you have to click this white sizing handle in the top center of your shape. And this brings up the box here for the height, and we wanted 45. So it kind of looks like an egg, okay? You're going to go ahead and change the color. So in the top right, click on where it says solid blue, and you're going to switch it to black, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the white belly, this white part right here. And we're going to make this 20. We're going to use a sphere, do 20 by 20 by 30. We're going to raise it 8 millimeters off the plane and make it white. Okay, before I grab another shape, I usually like to take whatever's on my work plane and kind of push it to the left or to the back to give me space in the front to do my work for my new shapes, okay? So I would suggest you do that as well. Let's grab a blue sphere and drag it up onto the work plane. Click on one of the white corner sizing handles. Now, we're leaving the length and the width at 20, so we don't have to do anything to change those. However, we do have to change the height. So click that white sizing handle in the top center, and instead of 20, you're going to make this 30. We're going to go up to our color. You're going to make it white. Okay? We have to lift this 8 millimeters off of our work plane. So I'm going to select it. You will see, I call it the Hershey Kiss, but it's this little black arrow that kind of looks like a Hershey Kiss. This is what you use to lift an object up off the plane. So you're going to hold your mouse down on that. You're going to lift up 8 millimeters. We're dealing in millimeters. And you can see now that that shape is lifted off of the plane. Okay? We have to put the belly into the body. We are not just going to visually guess that we have it centered perfectly. We're going to actually align it perfectly. So the first thing we have to do is select both of our shapes, the black and the white. To do that, you're just going to take your mouse and hold it down and draw a big red rectangle so that both of your shapes are inside of it. And when you let go, both shapes are selected. Okay? I'm going to move up to the top right. There's a little toolbar above our color section, and you're going to find the button that says Align. Align simply means how our shapes line up with each other. So I'm going to click on that, and you're going to see a whole bunch of little circles. Okay? This front row is how our shapes get centered left to right. So I'm going to click this button right here to center left to right, and then I'm going to click off. Okay? Now, it's centered perfectly, but it's not put into our body yet. Okay? I'm going to ask you to hold your right mouse button down, turn your plane to the side so you have a side view, take your mouse, click on your white belly, and then using the arrow keys on your keyboard, I'm going to use the right arrow, and I'm going to back my belly up until it is tucked into the body. And you can tuck it in as much as you want. You might have to turn back to the front view and check it out and see if you like it and make any adjustments. And once you are done, we are going to group these two pieces together so they become one. Because right now, if I went to move it, I'm going to Control Z back, it would just move one. We want them to be connected. So again, hold your mouse down, draw a big red rectangle so both shapes are selected. I'm going to go back up to that little toolbar on the top right, and you're going to find the button that says Group, and you're going to click it. Now, when you do that, both shapes are going to turn black. We don't want that. What we want is we want our shapes to be whatever color it is that we assign to those shapes. So to change it back, click the black solid color button, and then at the bottom of this pop-up, you're going to see the words multicolor. Click on multicolor, and it will change them back. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is the feet. So I'm going to keep this shape kind of in the back left, And you're not going to find it under basic shapes. So next to the words basic shapes, I want you to click on the little magnifying glass, and I want you to type the word flipper, and you're going to see a green flipper pop up. Go ahead and drag one onto the front right of your work plane. We're only going to choose one, and then we're going to duplicate it once we're done customizing it, okay? So grab a corner size, or click on a corner sizing handle. We're going to change the width in the front to 12. We're going to change the length on the side to 18. And we're going to leave the height the way it is. Don't change the height, but we are going to change the color, to some shade of orange, okay? Now, we have one flipper. Make sure it's selected. You're going to go up to your little toolbar in the top left corner and find the duplicate button. It's the third one. You can also do Control D on your keyboard and click it. And then I'm going to use my right mouse button, and I'm going to just use the arrow keys, my right arrow key, and move the flipper over so I now have two. Instead of both flippers facing perfectly straight forward, we're going to angle them out a little bit. So I'm going to click on this one on the right. I'm going to grab this double-sided arrow, and I'm going to just angle it out a little bit. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to grab the double-sided arrow and angle that out. And then they look like, to me, they're a little far apart. So I'm just going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard, move them a little closer. Yours might not look exactly like mine, and that's okay. Once you're happy with your feet, we want to group these 2 feet together so that they're connected. So I'm going to take my mouse and draw a rectangle around just the feet. I'm going to go up to that little toolbar on the right. I'm going to group them together. And now if I go to move my feet, they are connected together. Next thing we have to do is connect the feet to the body. We are going to align them using our align button. So take your mouse, draw a big rectangle that covers your body and your feet. Go up to that toolbar on the right, find that align button again. This time we're going to press 2 circles. I want you to perfectly center it left to right, so click that center button in the front. And then I also want you to perfectly center it. Mr. Crumpley's about to do announcements. I'm going to center it front to back, so click the center button on the left. Now, your feet are a little bit too tucked under the body, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on my feet. I'm going to hit my down arrow key on my keyboard to move my feet out a little bit. You can angle and turn around and see if, okay, is that the way the feet should look? Sure. Once you're happy with it, let's draw a red rectangle around everything. Group it together so that now the feet are attached to the body. Okay? I'm going to drag this to the back, and we are moving on to the head. We're going to use a sphere. So go back to your tool, or you're back to your shapes on the far right. We're going to click the X to close out the flipper. Grab a blue sphere, drag it to the front. Okay, we're going to make the dimensions 25 by 25 by 25. So I'm going to click a sizing handle. Instead of 20, we're going to go 25. Instead of 20, we're going to go 25. And remember to do the height. You click the top center one, change that to 25, and then we're going to make the color black. Okay, I forgot how much we have to lift it off the plane, so I'm going to go back. Lift 40 millimeters off the plane. Okay, so I'm going to close this out. We're going to grab that Hershey Kiss, hold our mouse down on it, and drag up 40 millimeters, 40. Okay, we want to center this head perfectly onto the body. So again, we're not just going to drag it over and guess. We're going to draw a big rectangle around both of our shapes. We're going to go to that align button in the top right. I want you to click the center button in the front, and that will center perfectly left to right. And then click the center button on the left over here, and that will perfectly center front to back. And your head should now be placed very nicely on your penguin's body. Let's group it together so that head becomes part of our group. So draw a big rectangle around your shapes. Go up to your right toolbar and click the group button, and then it's all connected. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the hat. The hat is going to be in 2 parts. First, a flat cylinder that makes the brim, or the flat part, and then the top hat part. So 2 different cylinders, okay? So move your penguin out to the back there. Grab an orange cylinder and drag this onto your work plane. Okay. Click a corner sizing handle. I want you to make the length and the width both 25. So 25 and 25. The height is going to be 4. So click that sizing handle in the top center and make the height 4. So 25, 25, and 4. Okay, let's grab another cylinder for the top part, the high part. Put it next to the first one. And you're going to make the height, the width, and the length all 19. So 19 for the width, 19 for the length, 19 for the height. Okay, we want to make sure that this top part is perfectly centered on the brim. Again, we're not going to use our mouse to drag it and just place it. We're going to use our align tool. So draw a red rectangle around both of your orange pieces. Go up to your align button in the top right. We're going to click the center button in the front to center left to right. We're going to click the center button on the left to center front to back. And then I want you, while they're both selected, to go ahead and click your group button so that both are connected. I'm going to let you choose whatever color you want for your hat. So go to solid here. You can choose one of the colors that you see here, or I don't know if you notice on the top, you can go to custom right here and you can customize your hat to whatever color you want. Okay. Once you choose a color, let's see how high we have to lift our hat off the work plane. We're going to raise it 60 millimeters off the plane. So let's grab our Hershey Kiss. Let's go up 60 millimeters. And then we're going to use our align tool to perfectly place it on the rectangle. So take your mouse, draw a big rectangle, align tool to perfectly place it on the penguin I meant. Use your mouse tool, draw a red rectangle, go up to the top right, choose align, click that center button in the front, click that center button on the left, and your hat is placed on the head. Now, some people like to take their rotate tool and they will rotate their hat a little and then maybe use their arrow keys to place it. I'm just going to do a Control Z really quickly. Or like maybe you want to have it tilted so it's going back a little bit. Use your arrow keys to place it. Or you can leave it straight. It's completely up to you. You can do whatever you want with your hat. But once you are happy with the way that it looks, let's group it to the rest of our penguin. So drag a big red rectangle and click your group button. Okay? And that will group it. I'm recording right now, okay? All right, so I'm going to move this to the back left. The next thing we're going to do is the nose. So you're going to use a purple cone. So grab a purple cone, pull it onto your work plane. We're going to make the length, the width, and the height all 9. Okay, so click a corner sizing handle. We're going to go 9, 9, grab the one at the top, and 9. And then we're going to make the color orange. Okay, so we need to turn the nose so it's facing forward. So I'm going to have you hold your right mouse button down and turn your work plane to the side. Select your nose and use that double-sided arrow along the top and rotate forward 90 degrees. Okay, so it's kind of laying on its side. Okay, we need to lift it up, but I don't know how much. We are going to lift it up 49 millimeters off of our work plane. So grab your Hershey Kiss. Go 49 millimeters off the work plane, and then we're going to center it perfectly on the penguin's face. So once again, you're going to take your mouse, draw a big rectangle, click the align button in the top right, click the center button in the front to align left to right. Now click off so nothing is selected, turn your plane to the side, select your nose, and use your right arrow key to kind of smush it into the penguin's face as far as that you push it in as far as you want it pushed in, and then you can group the nose together with the rest of the penguin. So draw your rectangle and click your group button. Okay, next we're going to do the eyes. So grab a sphere. Okay, they're going to be kind of small, so your size is going to be 5 for the length, 5 for the width, and 5 for the height. And make the color white. And we are going to lift the eye 56 millimeters off of the plane. So grab your little triangle or Hershey Kiss, you just close that out, and go 56. And then with this one, we're not going to use our align tool because we're not going to align our eye perfectly centered in the penguin. So just start using your arrow keys. Move it to the left. You can turn your plane to the side. Use your right arrow key until it smushes kind of into the penguin's face. Turn back to the front, and use your arrow keys to place it exactly where you want it. And when you are happy with it, don't make a new eye. Use your duplicate button in the top right, and then use your arrow key to place your second eye. Okay? Group them together. So draw a rectangle, choose your group button, and perfect. This is all one shape now. The only thing we have left are the wings. You're going to use a cylinder. So drag a cylinder onto your work plane. You're going to make the width in the front 30. You're going to make the length 9. and you're going to make the height 4. And then please make the color black. Okay, just like we did with the nose, you're going to turn your plane to the side and rotate it forward 90 degrees. So it's kind of standing on edge. We're going to lift it up about 25 millimeters. We might change that depending, you might like a different height. I'm also going to rotate it a little bit so it's kind of angled. This one we are going to center perfectly front to back. So let's draw a big rectangle around both shapes. Go to our align button. I'm going to turn, well actually you can just press the center button on the left here. And what that does is it's going to, when we use our arrow key, it's going to go perfectly into the center of the penguin's body, okay? So go ahead and select just your arm, use your left arrow key, and move it till it goes into the penguin's body. Once you're happy with the placement, and by the way, you can use the Hershey Kiss to lift it up or down if you want it higher or lower. Once you're happy with it, go up to the top left toolbar, click your duplicate button, use your left arrow key to move that arm to the other side. Now I would go up to my right toolbar and use the mirror image, and I would turn this left to right. And then again, you can use your Hershey Kiss, your arrow keys, whatever, to place it the way you want to place it. I'm going to go ahead and group my entire penguin together, and we have a finished product. The only thing you have left to do is turn it in. So you are going to make sure I can see the entire penguin. Don't zoom in, okay? Make sure I can see everything. You're going to go up to the top right. You're going to click Send To. You're going to click the download arrow. This will download or go into your downloads folder, and then that's what you will submit in Canvas, okay? Hopefully this was not too difficult to understand, and that's all.